Peace, power, prosperity. Rob Blackstorm. On my way to the gym. Just want to say happy Ma'at morning to y'all. Right? Now, when I talk about Ma'at, what Ma'at is Egyptian slash Kemetic principle of balance, justice, and universal law, right? One of the principles of Ma'at is your heart being as light as a feather, right? And Ma'at's sigil or symbol is an ostrich feather. Now, what do ostriches do? Ostriches, they put their head in the ground, right? Which is a symbol of going within yourself or going into your underworld, which is your subconscious mind. When you wake up from the underworld, right? What happens to your body is the reason you wake up, and this is from the underworld or the dream state after you go to sleep or rest. The reason you wake up is your body pumps the chemical called cortisol. And cortisol is actually what puts you in a fight or flight state or a sympathetic state, right? What actually is happening is your body, right? Your spirit is returning to link with your body as if after you've astral traveled during the night. And you always astral travel when you are sleeping. There is conscious astral travel and there's unconscious astral travel. So most people astral travel unconsciously. This is what we call dreams and nightmares, right? Or they wake up and they don't remember their dreams or their nightmares, right? But you're always astral traveling. But when cortisol hits the body, what it's doing is putting you in an animal state. It's activating your mammalian brain or your limbic system. And this is tapped into the animal or the dog, going from God, where you're in the subconscious mind, free from the fetters and trappings of the physical body, the wants and desires, the urination, defecation, need for food, and all the above, right? The lust. Well, you can still lust in the astral world, but you know what I'm saying. You're not trapped in physical, animalistic survival desires, which is what cortisol is, right? It's a fight or flight. It's a hormone produced based on fight or flight. Now, with this in mind, that shows that there is some sort of yin and yang taking place, right? Because before you go to sleep, you're tapped into what they call the parasympathetic nervous system. This parasympathetic nervous system puts you in rest and digest. And as you're going through rest and digest, right, this is where your dreams come in, your cellular regeneration, melatonin is entering the body, right? The third eye crystal, pineal gland is producing melatonin and DMT and all sorts of other hormones. This is all occurring while you are at rest. So there's obviously a difference between both states, right? Now, one of the things we have to realize is that we go into a rest and digest state almost every day. Hold on, let me tie these sneakers. We go into a rest and digest state almost every day, right? And this is called daydreams. Daydreams. This is unconscious meditation. During those daydreams, according to modern science, we think over 60,000 thoughts, with most of them being negative, over 80% of them negative, right? If you are operating in your animal state, right? Or fight or flight. Now, what do most people do in the mornings? They pick up this device, the cellular phone, or they go watch the fucking news. The music for the news in the morning is one of the most toxic sounds you could hear. It's usually alarming. Right? It's usually shocking, right? It actually inflames that cortisol state of fight or flight. It turns you from God, G-O-D, to dog, right? It's for all the dogs, like Drake's album cover, right? That's what the news is. And what does the news do? Feeds you fear. Fear, stress, anxiety, right? The news, what do they say? If it bleeds, it leads, right? News stands for North, East, West, and South. That's the acronym of news. But we know we're not getting the news from the North, the East, the West, and the South of our neighborhood or even the world. We're getting the news that if it bleeds, it leads. That is a journalism principle, all right? That's a journalism principle. And that's the way a lot of things are marketed to you, based on your fear. So I say all this to say, how do you counteract that, right? You counteract that with the principles of Ma'at. The principles of Ma'at, again, are the heart being as light as an ostrich feather, okay? Heart being as light as an ostrich feather. Now, we've already discussed that we go into various brainwave states, and one of them is during the day, and one of those is called daydreaming. When you wake up in the morning, if you are not actively seeing that day as the best day ever, no matter what situation you are currently in the physical realm. This means if you're homeless, it means if you lost your job, this means if they foreclosed on your home, this means if they repossessed your vehicle, this means if your girl left you, this means if your man left you, right? It is still your day. Your day. This day is mine. This day is yours. And the only person that can control the state of your day is you. So how do we make our heart light as a feather? The heart pumps oxygen. Oxygen is air. Air is spirit. So one of the ways we do that is through morning meditations. But let's say you can't meditate in the morning. You don't have time. Well, guess what? The universe made it so that you have 15 minutes upon waking to still be in what they call the theta brainwave state, or to be in that rest and digest state. In that state, you are able to program your mind to whatever you want it to be And in that state, that parasympathetic nervous system state, you're able to visualize and feel and have it hardwired into your subconscious mind and also your autonomic nervous system. Meaning that now, during the day, when you go through your daydream states, which are automatic, right? You don't know when you're going to daydream, right? They're automatic. With practice in the mornings, again, if you can't meditate, you could wake up 15 minutes earlier and lay in the bed, right? And visualize your day. When you were Christian, right? They said, pray when you wake up in the morning. And you should still do that, right? On this side of town, the esoteric, the metaphysical, the occult, which just means hidden culture, we call them affirmations, right? And you affirm with the voice in your head, and you visualize, right? What your day will look like. So for instance, during my day, I'm doing sales, right? I sell stuff during the day, right? That's my physical job, right? In the animal world, so to speak, right? In order to take care of me and mine. So I'm usually visualizing myself making a certain amount of sales during the day. I'm also visualizing myself protected, right? During the day. I'm also visualizing myself enjoying the conversation with my clientele, right? I'm also visualizing myself after work, if I have something to do, right? Or if I know I have an agenda, I have to go someplace, what that looks like, what those interactions are going to be, right? And also on top of that, I'm able to visualize in the now what I want the future to look like, right? What my dreams, my goals, and my aspirations are. These are all based on you now taking control of your day and not allowing something else like the news, right? Other people, they pick up their phone, they're on Facebook, Twitter/X, right? Or any other social media site, looking at other people's thoughts, looking at other people's ideas for the day, looking at other people's visions for the day, right? But not their own. If you have children, you want to affirm them and visualize what their day is going to look like too. And feel what their day is going to look like too. And put that covering over them, so to speak, right? Because that is your job as their guide, right? But most people don't do that. They wake up, they're yelling, screaming, right? I live on the first floor and I hear it all day. And mostly, this is not me being biased, it's mostly mothers that I hear screaming and going off and cursing their kids out first thing in the morning. Now, what if in the morning you started visualizing and affirming and activating these programs for you and yours, reprogramming your mind to what you want to see? And this is you being OPTI, mystic, MY. How you spell mystic? MYSTIC, right? You being optimistic. And you becoming optimistic, right, is you being delusional with your dreams. You being delusional with your fantasies. Think about the geniuses of our time. The Bill Gates, the Walt Disneys, the Kanye West, right? The Wright brothers, the Malcolms, the Martins, the innovators, right? the disruptors, right? The people who do things, even like modern day, like Wallow 267s, the people who disrupt the system, right? And change things, right? For better or worse, right? People creating AI and AGI, right? Uh, Artificial generative intelligence, right? Which is the new thing. These are people that are delusional. The person who created the space shuttle, right? Think about that. Satellites are in space, right? Think about all the things that exist right now. I'm talking to you from this is the dream from a Dick Tracy comic. Me talking to you on a phone that's in my hand and communicating to people all over the world. This was somebody's delusional dream at some point where people told them that it wouldn't happen, that it couldn't happen, that it wouldn't manifest. But guess what? Every day they woke up and during their daydreams, which is an automatic physical response that taps you in to your highest self, which is your subconscious mind, which is your autonomic nervous system, which is your automatic functioning that causes you to breathe, to sleep, to digest, to eat, to pee, to poop. Now you're tapped into that part of yourself and you're consciously doing it. You're consciously programming yourself. On every morning, you're programming yourself. You got a family, you're programming your family. The more you do this, again, meditation is ideal, but if you can't meditate, use the first 15 minutes of the day when you're in that meditative state to make your heart light as a feather, right? Also, you don't want to get involved. You want to be in the world, but not of the world, right? All these police brutality things that's happening now, right? Dude getting tased by the police, or whatever. You don't want that to be your reality. Your reality is the reality that you create. If you are scared of the cops, then guess what? You are attracting that response right back to you. Whatever you interact with, there is an energy exchange. Something called paying attention. When you pay for something, right, what do they call it? A charge. So if I go to the store and I get an apple and I bring it to the register, they're going to what? Charge me, right? That means that there's an exchange of energy. There's a spark of energy. And what am I going to use? Currency. Money is called currency. So that currency is me paying with a charge to exchange energy. So I'm exchanging my currency for this apple. It's the same thing that happens when you watch the news. It's the same thing when you watch, some of this or read some of these statuses first thing in the morning or some of these posts, right? Watch certain things on TV, social media, interact with certain people, right? That don't support your lifestyle, that don't encourage you, right? That don't big you up, that hate on you, the frenemies that you keep around, right? This is why your circle and the people you associate with and the content you consume and digest is so important, especially in the mornings. So as we move into this new year, we want to have ma'at mornings. We want to have mornings that are light as a feather, where we are setting our intentions. And even if, that first 15 minutes, if you feel like you have too much in your head, have you on your nightstand a notebook or shit. I would recommend a notebook because it actually allows you to use the mediums of lead or ink, right? The natural mediums of lead and ink to put down ideas, but you could use your phone as well, right? Just don't go on the social media sites and write out, journal, right? Write out your thoughts, write out your visions for the day so you're able to hardwire them into your mind, right? Into your visual cortex or your imagination. We have to be very intentional nowadays with the days and what we want to see in our lives, because we are in a frequency war. It's 5G, the technology, the apps, the media, right? Friends and family that are on 5G, right? Versus 5D, the fifth dimension, right? Which the fifth chakra from the bottom is the throat chakra, right? This also ties back to Andre 3000, New Blue Sun, right? Blue throat chakra, right? Where we're able to speak things into existence or affirm things into existence. But it has to be, and the throat also deals with your thoughts or your ideation, right? Your train of thought, so to speak, your brain waves. So we have to harness these things and control these things for ourselves. We can't depend on someone to come save us. We can't depend on when we get a new president, a new black leader, a new Puerto Rican leader, a new white leader, when Trump comes in office, when the new Democrat, Michelle Obama, whoever, right, comes in office next this upcoming year, right? We can't depend on these people to save us. We have to save ourselves. And the way we do that is by keeping a high vibration. A high vibration allows you to propel your thoughts into the invisible realm, because the higher something vibrates, the more invisible it becomes. The higher something vibrates, the more invisible it becomes to the naked eye. But remember, with the naked eye, we see less than 5% of the universe. With instruments, we see about 5% of the universe. So that's 95% of the universe that's unseen, that we could tap into as metaphysicians, as occultists, by utilizing these means. And one of the ways, I'm going to do a live tomorrow where I'll get more in depth, but one of the ways that we tap into these different areas of life is through working with deities and working with gods. And this allows us to activate certain parts of ourselves, right, while working with these deities and making offerings, and petitions and things like that. Activate parts of ourselves that are dormant. And these are also things you want to take into your morning ma'at, right? Your ma'at mornings, and activate. So I just want to encourage anybody who's going through something, who's going through a down, right? Or who's going through an up, right? Time in their life right now, to stay focused, keep your eye on whatever prize that is, and keep doing the work, right? Keep doing the work of training and programming your mind, or the world will program your mind for you, and it's not going to program it for your benefit. What they're going to do is just what Morpheus told Neo. They're going to use you like a battery to help power the matrix, power other people's dreams and goals until you die, right? And that's not what we're here to do, because if you die, you're just going to reincarnate back here again and have to do it all over. And remember, the goal is not to save anyone but yourself. The goal is to fill up your cup. And when you fill up your cup, then you could give to others. But if you don't fill up your cup, if you don't fill up your own cup, meaning your own soul, right, with spiritual power, with intention, with motivation, with magic, with high spiritual intention, with high vibrations, with high frequencies, if you don't fill up your cup with knowledge, with wisdom, right, by creating a culture, doing these type of things, then you're the only person to blame for what happens in your life. You're the only person to blame for how things don't manifest in your life. You're the only person that you could look at, right, and be accountable for. So let's start now making these moves. Don't wait till January 1st. Whatever your resolutions are, now is the time. We're about to go into Mercury retrograde. Again, this is heavy shadow work time. You want to, again, we'll get into that when I do the live. The live is probably going to be either Friday or Sunday, so look out for that. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you have a great day. Let me know what you think about what I said in the comments. Add on if you feel like there's more to add on for the family. I love y'all. Peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstone. Have a wonderful, light as a feather day. Peace.